So I messed up. I did a live webinar and I didn't hit the record button. It's kind of a problem because I want to share this with lots of other people who can't show up on time because they're busy. So I'm doing this again in my office here in Chattanooga by myself with no one listening. But hopefully you're watching this later and you'll get to find some value in this. Let me know if you do. Hopefully you do. So we'll see how this one goes. All right. Today we're going to talk about how to get ranked in the Google Map Pack. Also the same as Google 3-Pack. Also part of Google Business Profile or your Google Business Listing or Google My Business. There's lots of names for it, but it's all tied to your Google Business Listing. We're going to go over 3 biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking. We'll also talk about our proven model for ranking in that local map pack area and the best tools to systematize and automate the heavy lifting. Now, who am I? Why should you listen to me? I've worked in every aspect of marketing advertising since 2007. My background originally is computer science, built hundreds and hundreds of websites, e-commerce systems, all kinds of really cool things, into TV commercials, into all kinds of branding design, and eventually still have an agency I founded in 2012. It's a multiple award-winning agency, full service marketing advertising. 2 years ago started Aesthetic Marketing Partners because some of our best clients came from aesthetic practices, and we really learned how to help those aesthetic practices grow. Talk about that more a little later. I've made tens of millions of dollars for clients across the country over the years. That's one of the most important numbers because it's all about us helping you make money. And I've proven results growing practices just like yours. So as I mentioned, helped hundreds of businesses across the country over the years, won Addy Awards, and one of our greatest case studies that was a great learning experience. I just kind of fell in love helping this plastic surgery practice grow, and we took them from 1 location to 5 locations over 3 years' time. We actually rebranded the entire practice. They've been around 55 years. They had 4 main surgeons partners at the time. When we left, they had 8, just absolutely crushing it. We helped them build the med spa side as well. We did everything from branding, e-commerce websites, social media management, advertising, SEO, email campaigns, everything. It was a great experience, and we learned a lot of what works and what doesn't work. We also learned a lot of what is best done in-house versus what's best to outsource, to an agency like ours. And we produce Aesthetic Marketing Partners, the best set of services to help aesthetic practices grow. So let's dive in to getting you ranked in that Google local pack area. So does Google Maps really even matter? Is this even, should you be here listening to me? Does it matter? Well, 44% of clicks and calls come from the Google Map Pack area. So in this screen grab here for Chattanooga Cosmetic Surgery, you're going to have ads up top, Google ads. In this case, there's actually 1 organic listing, and then right in this Google Map Pack. You've probably seen this for your practice. You'll see it for plumbers, electricians, dentists, basically anything that's selling a local service or product that's local to that area. It's Google Map Pack, and it's 44% of clicks and calls. You have to be in the top 3 to be in there unless you have an ad. This one you can actually see it behind the blue. There's a little sponsor one at the top. You can run ads now too. It's kind of challenging to get in there. You have to have a lot of authority to do it. You run it through Google Ads, but there are possibilities for ads in there. The best, however, is to do everything that I'm about to go over, and over time get yourself into that top 3 ranking because it's free when you're in there. Top 3, that would be great. And you get free chance at 44% of clicks and calls, which is much cheaper than being at the top in Google Ads. So yes, Google Maps does matter. Now these next few slides kind of want to go over, a lot of these numbers. I probably should have included all of them, but I didn't want you to think I was just making up numbers. The big one here is circled in the middle is Google Maps calls, and you'll notice that it's 50% or greater of the total amount of leads that we're getting comes from Google Maps versus organic calls, pay-per-click calls, web forms, chats, that sort of thing. Each one of these has massive amounts of calls from Google Maps. So clearly there's tons of value. It's very important. You can really build a business off of Google Maps and keep it supported just from that alone. There's so much value to it, and Google has put so much importance on it now. So yes, Google Maps drives leads. Now the biggest changes. So Google Map listing has been reduced from 7 results to 3. That happened sometime last year, but somewhat recent, depending on the last time you dove into Google Maps, of course. Google is serving paid ads in the map results, like I mentioned, and then also online booking is now allowed in Google Business Listing for some platforms. So we have a HIPAA compliant CRM. It actually pipes into this so they can book on your calendar from your Google Business Listing. I believe they have one set up for aesthetic record, and I'm not sure about other platforms. I'm never adding them all the time. That's something you can look into. We're also happy to look into that for you if you want to reach out to us. We let you, just let us know what electronic health record system or CRM you're using for online booking, and we can see if it's compatible or not with it right now. Now, before we dive in, we'll talk about owning the search results. So Google Map Pack is 44% of clicks on the homepage. We also have to consider if you really want to own that area and work towards that omnipresence, the goal would be to have Google ad for your targeted keywords in the area that you want to perform more services and have the availability and ideally the best profit margin. Have a Google ad running, Google Map listing, get that organic result. Local directory listing, so we'll talk some more about this later, but Yelp, LinkedIn, Facebook, those are going to return very high as well. So having your business set up on there can definitely help. And also organic listing. So that's going to be your SEO work, doing articles on your website, getting your all the off-site and on-site SEO, pushing your site higher. If you can be at the top of all of these, why would they not come to you for their procedure? It's definitely the ultimate goal. So let's dive into our proven formula for getting ranked in the 3-pack. We just keep adding names to it. It's Local Pack, 3-pack, Google My Business, Google Business Profile, Google Profile Manager. They can't make up their mind, but we'll help you with that. So number one, we want to claim and optimize your Google Business Profile listing. So make sure that you have your login information. That's step one. It's kind of obvious, but log into Google My Business account. Make sure you own it and you're the owner of that account. You want to update company name to read just your company name. This sounds very basic. It gets more in depth. It's not this top level the whole time, but this is an important part because there was some spamming that was going on. So people would put Chattanooga Med Spa, just making up, I don't think that exists, that name, dash Knoxville or whatever, some other city, some location. East Brainerd would be better. If they really want to focus on East Brainerd, it's close to Chattanooga. That was a terrible example, but the idea is you don't want to put a hyphen or some buzzwords or keywords that aren't in your company name because Google will pick up on that. And if you can't compare it and submit documentation that it is your company name to them, they will mark unverified on your Google Business Profile and will lower your rankings. Add your website address. This is definitely important. You want to get people to your website. Use a local number. We don't want 800 numbers. Those don't return well. Actually lowers your rank. Want to use a local address. No P.O. box or UPS store. Very important here. We get a lot of practices that just opening up. They want to launch a Google Business Profile and they think service area is going to be enough. Maybe they're working mobile or out of their home or something like that, doing pop-up. They don't want to use their home address. Service area is not going to allow you to return high enough in that map pack. So having that physical local address is very important. It's an absolute must. Uploading photos, as many as possible every month. We upload 3 to 5 photos for our clients each month. This could be everything from your logos to coupons, pictures of the office, staff, before and afters if they let, depending on. So before and afters of plastic cosmetic surgery they won't allow. You can still try, they just might get taken down. And then, of course, list your hours of operation and services offered. Now, as I mentioned, claiming optimize your Google Business Profile listing. This will be done as you log in. This is going to be the screen that you see. It's been updated in the last year. It looks a little bit different. But you'll notice here at the top under your business on Google, edit profile, read reviews, messages, add photo is highlighted. Usually kind of the main areas you'll want to focus on. You also have these cards under it that say get more reviews, create an offer, June performance report is ready. There's an arrow to scroll. Those are all little suggestions that Google will make. Typically each month they're making a new suggestion. Right now there's been a lot of new features coming out like the online booking, live chat, Q&A has been around for a little bit, but the more that you can follow all of these suggestions that Google is making for your business profile and basically play their game, the higher that your business profile, the higher trust they're going to have for it, and they're going to return it higher in that map listing. Hopefully with the goal of getting that top 3 in the local pack. One of the areas it's definitely worth focusing on is the services area. So we see a lot of opportunity here for a lot of practices that come through do the marketing audit, one thing I typically see is they'll usually have one primary category. In this case, it's cosmetic surgeon, but then you'll notice additional categories: surgeon, facial spa, anti-aging facial, basic facial, surgical center, skin, medical spa. List keeps going. Typically 4 to 5 subcategories helps increase the reach and overall ranking of your Google business profile. You don't want to get too outlandish. You want to keep it around 4 to 5 and keep them accurate. Don't put something on here that's not what you all do. Of course, that's not going to help trust with Google. But typically we only see one primary category and we don't see any sort of secondary categories, and that's just a lot of opportunity leaving on the table. So what could be hurting your ranking on maps? Like we mentioned, need an office in the city you're charting your rank well on Google Maps for. You need to make sure you're not spamming Google with fake locations. You want to have consistent name, address, phone number on the profile and also in all your citations. And make sure you're not spamming the city with the company name or categories in the business name. And make sure you have enough reviews across the web. Not having enough reviews, I say across the web because it does help to have them spread between, say Yelp, Facebook, LinkedIn. all of those help, but Google is definitely the most important. So I would focus my attention there just to help that map pack ranking. Some of the business profile trust signals. This is kind of a confusing. It's a little confusing. However, a signal is what one of the metrics that Google is going to look for. Of course, brand authority is important, but verification method is a very important trust signal. There's multiple types of verification depending on how new or old your practice is. It's good. Well, either way, it's good to log in and see if you need to be updated in verification. Since so many things have rolled out with AI and all these changes have happened in the last 2 years. A lot of practices that have been around for a while and they were previously verified have now become unverified, and they may not check in on and notice that they're unverified, and that will basically remove you completely from the listing in that map pack area. So very important to be verified. And also, even though it can be a pain in the ass, excuse my French, but the video verification, double verified, live video recorded, even though those are a pain, it's actually higher trust. And the higher up that list versus like a phone or email or postcard verification, if you're doing those video verifications, you'll actually have more trust associated with your account, and you will return higher than the lower verification accounts. Total number of reviews is very important for that trust signal. Review consistency is also a goal. So instead of 50 reviews in 1 month and then no reviews for 5 months, it'd be better to do 3 to 5 reviews over 12 months time. That's going to show more trust to Google. If you're recently unsuspended, that's actually a great thing because you had to go through the verification. You had to prove that, no, this is real company, real business, here's where we're located. You're going to rank higher for that, be seen with more trust in Google's eyes. The back-end engagement, like I mentioned, so updating those, uploading images, updating information, holiday hours, replying to reviews is very important, and then making sure it's a completed profile of logo, cover images, images at work, behind the scenes. Adding those images every month is very important. So, number 2, we want to build citations and consistency with, you'll see it called NAP. It's name, address, phone number is what it stands for. It's actually more than that. It's name, address, phone number, business hours, website URL, business categories, subcategories, what type of payment methods that you accept, your business, mission statement or about statement. All of that really goes into a citation. And there's hundreds of those citation sites across the internet. Most of them you've probably never gone to, probably never will go to. However, somewhere someone's going to it. And whether they are or they aren't, it's a directory site and it's seen with higher authority typically than your website or most business websites. So the way this works is that higher authority sites, like I think LinkedIn's a 99 out of 100, Google I think it's a 97 out of 100, Facebook's like a 95 out of 100. Your business website on average, just guessing off the top of my head, is going to be somewhere between a 0 to a 20. That's usually where we see most businesses. You can get higher than that, but it's very time consuming. It's a lot of time, a lot of SEO work to get there. So the higher the authority, if they're linking back to your site, that's going to pull your authority up. So that's why we want to have as many of these as possible. For our clients, we produce guaranteed at least 100 citations over the first 90 days with the correct name, address, phone number. We also want to make sure we clean up all the incorrect data. So if phone numbers change, we want them to be all the same across every profile. The more citations that have the same name, address, phone number, and all the other information, the more trust that the search engines and Google will see for your business. We also want to pay attention to the aggregators. So Data Axle, Newstar, Foursquare, GPS Network, Yellow Pages Network, distribution to hundreds of online search sites. You pay a fee for these, something we set our clients up on through our program. It's definitely worth it to push out your content to further online search sites through these data aggregators with that correct name, address, phone number, and all the content associated. Very helpful. And then some of the best tools for citations. I personally use BrightLocal. As an agency, we use BrightLocal. We've used Yext in the past. Yext I don't really prefer anymore because once you stop paying for it, they basically remove those listings and you have to pay every month for it. BrightLocal, when we worked with BrightLocal, it winds up costing more, but it's a on manual setup thing. Once they set up all the citations, it's done and you own all of those. So we prefer that. Advice Local, Moz Local, and White Spark are others that you can look into as well as secondary options. So best practice for citations, like we mentioned, is manually claim and optimize Google Business Profile. That's an absolute must. Use a tool like Yext or BrightLocal or White Spark to get at least the top 50. Ideally, really, it's the top one. You need to be in the top 100. Some of our best clients are about 130, 150 citations. Excuse me. You want to create a local resource page. So this can help build, this basically educates Google as to where you are, because you want to build, again, we're referencing citations in this case for Google Map Pack. And that map pack is going to be based on a proximity of where you are versus where the person searching for you is. And if you have a local resource page that has a number of businesses in your area, say they're within a 5, 10, 15, 20 mile area, you link to them. Maybe it could be suggestions on, like, say if someone's coming from out of town to your practice for a certain procedure and they want somewhere to stay, you could have maybe vacation rentals or boutique hotels or something like that listed. In a perfect world, that boutique hotel would also link back to your site. Then you have that two-way linking going on, which is really going to build that trust, and it helps educate Google that, okay, this business is around all these other businesses and they're linking to it and it's linking to them. Clearly this business is in this area. We can trust them to return them higher in the map. Also want to get listed in those major data aggregators, and then leverage a tool like BrightLocal. The Citation Finder can help you find niche listing opportunities like in the healthcare arena. So that's definitely of value as well. Number 3, we want lots of real reviews. So clearly, review is one of the first metrics you see under the business name in the Google Map Pack area, and it's a very important part of how you return. Now, it's not always the most important part because there's a proximity part, like I mentioned. So it's you'll see sometimes, like in this case, there's only 10 reviews at the top one, but Sternum Cosmetic Surgery has 81 reviews. You see they're further away from where the search was. So the fact that it's further away, they had to return that much higher trust because they're assuming someone has to drive further to get to their practice. So the reviews definitely still matter. Strategy for driving consistent reviews. So we want to leverage tools to request a review after procedure. Plenty of tools out there. If you have a CRM, a lot of electronic health record systems, health record systems, they have these automation tools in place for like a text message, email, maybe even a phone call, voicemail drop, something like that, to get a review. Again, typically I would push it towards Google. There's probably not a number that I would stop at pushing reviews to Google. You could get into the thousands and be like, sweet, keep going, push them to Google. It's just where everyone goes now. So definitely push reviews to Google. We also have a HIPAA compliant CRM that's great for requesting reviews as well. After someone checks out, after they've had their procedure, can request with like an automated text message, email. But we also want to have that human element, so leaving a printed review card is very important. I know it sounds old school, but having like a QR code they can scan, go to their phone, take with them, do it at a later date, but takes them right to that Google Business Profile for leaving that review. It's very important. You want to train your team to plant the seed and deliver a world-class experience. I know this is like, well, duh, of course, but it's amazing how many practices we talk to every week that they really don't have this sales procedure, standard operating procedure for a sales process nailed down. It's actually off subject. Something that we're working on to provide as additional value to our clients is to help build SOPs for that sales training for their staff. And this is a very important part of that sales training. The more reviews you get, the more customers you're going to get. So it's very important to train your staff on that. You can make a call, text after the procedure to walk them through the review process. Another human element. Depending on the amount of labor you have available, the call might be too challenging. You can do voicemail drops and automate that. That's easy to do. We have that through our HIPAA compliant CRM as well. Text message automation is also very easy to do and keeps the manual labor out of that physical call. And of course, building reviews and recognition into your company. That's just something, if you can build it into everyone's mind that we want to gather reviews. We have to do this. We want reviews from everyone. We want them every time someone leaves here, let's get a review from them. If you have that mentality for everyone, you're going to get more reviews and you're going to rank higher in that Google Map Pack area. So briefly, let's talk about how 4 to 5 star reviews help. Of course, this is not of course. Sometimes I start talking with words and I'm like, why did I say that? But this is actually not of course. So improve keyword rankings in the local map pack is there are multiple signals tied to review. What I mean there is we're seeing now that reviews left in the Google Business Profile. Someone comes in, they leave a review, Google Business Profile. They say, had a great experience with Dr. So-and-so, receiving my third round of Botox today. It's always great results. Thanks so much for the great experience and treatment, something like that. Well, Botox, great keyword. Doctor, great keyword. Treatment, experience, any other procedures that they might have, breast augmentation, tummy tuck, mommy makeover, these sort of things. All these little keywords help, and Google's actually using those as well to return your Google Business Profile for more search keywords that people are inputting in Google search. So it's important to get those keywords. Now, you can't make them say those sort of things, but the more reviews you get, they're more than likely going to be talking about the procedure they had done or referencing in some way. It's going to help your rankings with those keywords. It'll definitely increase the number of conversions that occur when you have a greater than 4-star overall rating with many great 5-star reviews. Just someone, everyone's doing research on this. And of course, in this industry, people are trying to find someone they trust. They want to find someone that's going to give them consistent injectables, or someone that they're going to go under the knife with. That's something that's scary. So reading and seeing other people's experience and having greater than 4-star average with lots of 5-star reviews definitely helps build that confidence and trust, definitely increase your conversion rate. Glowing reviews can also become marketing and link opportunities. So this could be great for, footer of website. This could be an email campaigns, have a little section for recent reviews we just got. Definitely great for social media. So stories, reels, posts, you can have a day of the week where it's just testimonials and reviews, and have a little gallery slide on Instagram or Facebook. Great for that. And it makes a local business appear more credible to current and potential customers. So a simple blog post on your website won't cut it anymore. This section gets in this gray area. It's right on the edge of SEO. And, of course, in this webinar, we're talking about the Google Map Pack, local map pack, all the names they have for that map pack area. However, SEO and the algorithm update for the overall SEO umbrella, Google Maps is really part of, it's a little section under the SEO umbrella. And this update and algorithm is very important. So this came out last year. And this is mainly due to AI. So the AI has massively increased the amount of content that is being pushed out on the internet, from web pages, blogs, press releases, all kinds of content, whole new websites. They're using AI for everything. So now Google is having to come up with, how do we build trust? How do we know who's trustworthy and who's not? The original acronym they used was just EAT. Then they had an update like 3 months later, and they called it Double EAT. Can't even make this up. It's actually what they call it. They referenced it, Double EAT. I don't know. Can't make it up. But in this graphic, this kind of explains what it means. So with Double EAT, and by the way, we would never use a graphic like this. This is way too cartoony and cheesy on like one of our clients' websites. We do not do this for any sort of like content for any of our clients. But I came across this and I was like, well, that's kind of clever. I'll use it. And seeing it here now, I'm like, I probably shouldn't have used it. I should have my creative director redesign this. It gets the job done for this purpose though. So on the left side with the 3 columns supporting that T. So the T stands for trustworthiness or trust. And you have expertise, experience, and authority building that trust. So that's what double E stands for. Now the difference between expert and experience, it's a slight difference, but you can have an experienced driver with 10 years of driving experience, but you can also have an expert driver that's won multiple races professionally trained. Maybe they're only 16 years old. If you watch Formula One, you see all these kids that, hell, they're probably racing Formula 3 and others, and they're 14 years old, So, have a driver's license. So there's a slight difference there. Now, where this comes into play is building that trust, like we mentioned, and this can also be related back to the authors of the blogs that are on your website. Now, I know you're like, what does this have to do with Google Map Pack? There's a few things, a couple of things really, that this references. So with double E, they want to have experience and an expert that has authority to build that trust. Whenever you produce an article on the website, it's a great way to get keywords, to get information, to educate people. And that's one of the biggest ways Google has built authority in the past. AI has just blasted the internet for all kinds of articles. So now they're crawling back, and it's amazing the technology they built. They're crawling back through the author of these articles. And there needs to be an authorship page. So if you're a board certified plastic surgeon, if you're won these awards, if you went to this prestigious school, if you're on LinkedIn, having a profile with your whole story, your about, tell about your family, how long you've been doing it for, why you're the best at what you do. Here's all the different accreditations we have. Here's my LinkedIn profile, links going to all of those. And that authorship page is linked, and a little hyperlink text at the author area of each article on your site. Google will crawl that all the way back through all those links back to your LinkedIn profile, your board certifications, accreditations, everything like that, and make sure that you do have that experience, you are an expert, you have that authority, and then ultimately return to you with the highest amount of trust. This also greatly affects that Google Map Pack area. So it's very important to make sure if you have a company writing your blogs now, this is something that needs to be done because it's all kind of tied together, right? The blogs, your website's linked to your Google business profile. Trust is what Google's really looking for. So this is something that's new. Not a lot of companies have picked up on this yet. Luckily, we're always studying this sort of thing, trying to figure out what Google's doing, and it's something that's very powerful and very important. Now, I wanted to mention it so that way you get ahead of the curve. This could be a great opportunity to beat out some of your competitors that are not aware of this and are still using just SEO-written articles. And another thing, an update, these articles that are being produced on your website to build the links and keywords and that sort of thing, they need to be legible by a 5th grader. So if you're writing it just for SEO purposes or really high level, it's not going to return as high. So that's something that also needs to be done. And if you don't have the authorship page linking to the author of the article, then that's going to be a problem as well. All right, and finally, on to special local SEO ranking factors. Just want to mention some of these just, again, to try to get the idea across. First, proximity. Very important to consider how close the place of business is for the person that's searching. Now you can use zip codes and geo-coordinates in your content, reference the different suburbs or locations around your city. That can definitely help. And the rest you can't control for the most part. However, building more trust is definitely going to help. If someone is on the other side, say you're on the west side of the city and you're a med spa, and someone's on the east side of the city and they're looking for Botox or Juvederm or something like that near me, and they type in, let's just use Botox near me, more than likely, depending on the city you're in, there's going to be multiple other places, whether it's dental practices, dermatologists, med spas, plastic cosmetic surgeons that also do Botox and injections. They're going to be between you and that person searching. So for Google, we're going to say this person more than likely wants to drive the shortest distance. For them to return you in that top 3 area, you're going to have a ton of trust. And it's important to check off the list everything that I've mentioned in this webinar, because it's going to help build that trust. more reviews, adding 3 to 5 photos every month, making sure the business listings optimize, satisfying the double E algorithm update with authorship pages on your website, having hundreds of citations. All of that goes together to help build that trust. And we have seen, and we do have case studies to where we have helped clients accomplish this. It takes longer, but to where you can be further away from the person than what their other practices are, but you have so much more trust. Google will return you hire them and say, okay, this business, this practice is so good, they're so trustworthy that we're going to return them higher even though they're further than these other practices. That's ultimately the goal we want. We have a great tool for this that we'll go over here in just a minute, and I'll discuss a little more to help you see exactly how you rank in an area and what your competitors, what they're doing and how they rank, and it's got a great heat map tool that can show you that. Number 2, relevance. I want to keep in mind about the search categories and how relevant a search term for the business is. We want optimized content, on-page signals, use of business categories in the content and section headings on the website. Niche citations are great. Keeping those reviews going. All this helps relevance. Also in those Google Business Profile categories, having that primary category and then also 4 to 5 secondary categories, very important. And finally, prominence. What is the authority of the local business? Do they satisfy and meet the new requirements from the double E algorithm update? Brand mentions, number of link signals, number of reviews versus competitors. Using syndication definitely improves prominence of the entity, and of course having that author as well. And 3 to 6 months you can start seeing great result from satisfying all of these different updates from Google. So as I mentioned, we do a free local SEO report. It's actually, we call it the Marketing Audit Report. Multiple things are included in this. So first, the heat map is included in there. I should have had a screenshot of the heat map. It's the coolest part of it. I don't know why I chose this one. I guess it showed the multiple things we cover, like links and authority and the rank tracker, local listings, reputation manager. We'll do an audit of your Google Business Profile, your on-site SEO, see what social channels you're on. We also have in the rank tracker the heat map I mentioned, and that's one of the coolest elements because we can see how your business ranks based on where someone's searching. So if they're on their mobile phone 15 miles away from you in the suburb and they search, how do you rank against your competitors for certain keywords like Botox near me or fillers? And we can input those based on what your practice services are and make sure that those align with it so we can show you accurate results. It can also give you an idea of what it would take to get you to that top 3 area. And also in the report, we include a Google keyword research. It's a powerful tool, not just for like Google search. It's technically built off of Google Ads, but you don't have to use it for Google Ads. It will show you the top of page click, cost per click for each of the keywords we put in, but it also gives us a large list of keyword suggestions. So for med spas, depending on your area, certain things might be trending different than other cities. So it's nice to know like, okay, Juvederm's trending more here versus someone else, Botox and Dysport, which one's trending more, which new procedures coming out that people are looking for. They'll give you keyword suggestions on what they're searching for, show you search volume, the competition, and the cost per click if you were to run a Google ad. All the variations of those keywords can come in handy for when you're writing articles on your website or building out your on-site SEO. So that's a very powerful tool as well. We give you all this for free, no commitment, nothing. Of course, we'd love to work with you, help you grow your practice and help you implement all these things and more that, all the things we talked about today, even more. But there's no commitment. You get all of it free. You have access to it. And the online report that we do for you actually updates each month as well. So you can keep an update of how you are ranking and if the ranking is changing or not. So if you like to set this up, feel free to go to go.aestheticmarketingpartners.com. Do a discovery call with you, find out information, get a little research, then we'll go to the marketing audit proposal, put in your whole business information, get you everything here, analysis of online visibility, your custom keyword list, ranking report, online directory listings, reviews, social presence, website conversion and effectiveness, keyword research. All that will be in there for you to have. And of course, we could talk about our different service packages and what it would take based on where you are at now to get you up to that top 3. To get you returning in that local map pack, to get you more patients coming into your practice through really good SEO and advertising. So if you want your practice on Google Maps but need help, let's talk. You can text or call us at 423-375-4133. Feel free to go to go.aestheticmarketingpartners.com. You can also email me personally at sam@aestheticmarketingpartners.com. Happy to help you get set up with that. But again, sorry that this wasn't live, or the live coverage. I'm not sure which one was better. No one will ever know. Unless you were one of the ones on the live one, I guess you could compare if you watch this one. But hopefully this brought value. Hopefully helps you grow your practice. Feel free to share this with anyone you think would help. Maybe it's one of your team members. Front desk people might be able to implement some of this stuff that we shared here. And of course, reach out if any sort of questions you might have. Be happy to help you through this. Love to see you grow your practice and become more successful. Thanks for your time, and look forward to talking soon.